Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Know's podcast network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod, and I'm going to start things off this week. Tough week last week in the world of professional wrestling. We recorded before the untimely deaths of both Terry Funk and then, of course, Bray Wyatt. Terry Funk is someone that, Chris, Terry Funk was a child when Chris was in wrestling. Then he was able to follow his career, but Terry Funk was really one of the pioneers in the territory days, and just a terrific person to bring in, have big feuds with big people. Ric Flair, he was the ECW champion. He retired 39 times and then retired to 39 more after that. So Terry Funk passed away. Nice tribute to him. Cody Rhodes had a nice talk too, I thought, about Terry Funk. Rod, did you like what they did there? It was tough position to put in, especially with the Bray Wyatt situation.
I love that. That's how you then led me in, Jimmy, because that's what I was going to say, right? No offense to Bray, but him losing him when nobody thought it was going to happen, whereas Terry Funk was at least advanced in age and had been failing in health for a little while. I think Terry definitely caught some short shrift there, right? It's a little bit of recency bias. We've seen Bray involved in a recent storyline, right? The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match was not that long ago when Bray Wyatt was still in the WWE ring. So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. When you talk about godfathers of wrestling, there's going to be more charismatic guys and guys that sold a heck of a lot more t-shirts than Terry Funk. But every one of those guys that you know about that were charismatic and loved wrestling, they probably loved wrestling because of Terry Funk, right? And God bless Terry Funk for what Chris probably knows him for most, and that is coming out and providing Mick Foley with a precious few extra minutes to get his breath during the Hell in the Cell match when he came out and took a couple of tombstones and a choke slam from the Undertaker himself during that infamous Hell in the Cell match, right, Chris?
Terry Funk is a guy that you did it no matter where he was wrestling, for what faction, independent, ECW, no matter what, you knew he was giving everything in those matches. I mean, some of the matches that him and Mick Foley had on those independent circuits or in Japan were just unreal. I mean, just something that you're not going to see now. That's for sure.
Yeah, so big loss for the industry there, but a bigger loss as far as current goes is Bray Wyatt, and it's interesting because I was able to follow Bray Wyatt's entire career from his Husky Harris days as part of the NXT group coming in, and then going to NXT, developing the character, coming out in the Cape Fear kind of Bray Wyatt mode. You two kind of came in really late on Bray and were confused on a lot of things, and rightfully so. But going away from the character and going to the man, there's a lot to say about somebody that we don't know. We have no idea who he is, but the outpouring of just the stories of enhancement talent that said he was the first one to come in and say, hello, how are you? Welcome to WWE. Just people, the outpouring of love was just amazing for him. And that video package, no one on planet Earth can do a better job at video packages than WWE. And Chris, I thought that was an amazing tribute. We had a couple amazing tribute shows to him.
Yeah, and you're right too, because I was confused by his character. I mean, I hadn't seen anything that had led him up to be in this spot, but watching these vignettes and listening to the people talk about him and the type of person he was made me appreciate what I was able to see with him. Even though it may not have been much, I can at least appreciate that I was able to catch him wrestle a few matches before his untimely death.
He was world champion. He won the world championship twice, once as Bray Wyatt in Elimination Chamber, and then as The Fiend as well. He was scheduled to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for that championship, and the WWE, Vince McMahon, thought it was a better idea to have Goldberg defeat The Fiend randomly. And I remember talking about how horrendous of an idea that was, and it turned out to be very, very bad because Roman Reigns couldn't wrestle in that year's WrestleMania because he had leukemia and the COVID situation there. So you had Braun Strowman beating Goldberg. Just think about if Bray Wyatt was still champion and could have still gone on in that Fiend persona. Rod, we were, it's just an amazing outpouring from the WWE and the universe. I know I hate saying that sometimes, but for Bray Wyatt.
I was especially partial to the words of someone we give a lot of credit for being great behind a microphone, and that is LA Knight. When he came out and he's standing in the middle of the ring and he got all the adoration that he gets, and he says, I'll get to the Miz in a second, but as far as I could tell, tonight's about Bray. And then he said, I'm not going to come out here and tell you that we were best friends, which I just loved, right, Jimmy? I think that speaks to what you were saying about Chris and I. We don't have the connection to him that you did, but we could see everybody else was affected by it, right? Guys were crying at the beginning when they were all up there at the top, right? You saw Becky Lynch break down at her match at the end of Raw, right? We heard many reports that Seth Rollins would break down at times. So if you see people have a reaction to that guy, you absolutely have to love him. And I continue to give credit to LA Knight for being a huge, charismatic megastar at the moment, but he summed up the Bray Wyatt situation pretty well too, didn't he, Chris?
Yeah, no, that was a great thing. I loved every second of that.
Something that you guys did see was his return at Extreme Rules when I'll never forget Rod coming on that episode after that. It's like, WWE can put on a show because that was amazing. All the lights go off, the music hits, the door's there, the light from the back, and then Bray just takes his mask off. And everyone goes crazy and it goes to black. Some of his interviews at the very end in the middle of the ring as Bray Wyatt, really weird just to listen back to those, thanking everybody. And, he was sick for a while. He had a heart condition that almost caused him to have to retire right away. A few months ago, they thought he was getting better. There were some plans of coming back, but obviously, things took the ultimate worst turn there. And it really kind of put a downer, man. Wow. That stinks. And I think the WWE did a good job on SmackDown of just kind of running a show. Nothing major happened on SmackDown. They didn't have the John Cena thing this week to worry about. Raw, a couple more things happened, but they still did want to give Bray Bray and Terry their just desserts, and I think it went well, the whole thing.
Well, I'm going to start turning this back a little bit to the business we normally hand here, and I will echo your sentiments that it was tough timing for the WWE, because I think going into Payback, we were already a little low on the Dauber scale, as it were, right? We didn't necessarily have any matches that were really pushing anything forward, and then to absolutely lose the last week where they had a chance to maybe get some fire going. Maybe they might have even cooked up a bloodline match. I don't know, Jimmy, you might know more about that than I do, but I feel like losing out on this week, there's just no possible way they were going to work up a bloodline match ahead of Payback. So they now have to sit it out. Maybe that's a good thing for the bloodline. We'll ultimately get there, but yeah, it was rough. But in the middle of trying to make sure that they were respectful to Bray, we still had a good advancement in the Miz LA Knight story. I'm even more fired up for this match than I possibly could have been as being a huge LA Knight fan as I am, because I don't think the Miz has cut a promo like that in a long time. Jimmy, you're more of the Miz expert here, but that was some fired up Mike Miziani. Is that how you say his name? Miziani? I'm not entirely sure.
Mizanin, I believe. But so the SmackDown match, first of all, LA Knight and Finn Balor had a solid matchup. Big win for LA Knight. And that kind of started some things ended SmackDown on a high note. And then the Miz comes out on Raw and just knocks that impression out of the park. He had the talk down. It is one of the best promos I've seen, and that took that match from I don't really care about it to what's LA Knight going to do on Friday, and then what's he going to do on Saturday, Chris King?
Yeah, I am pumped. I am pumped to see this push. I think Miz, that you're right. That promo just blew me out of the water, because I'm not a big Miz fan. I haven't been. I thought they just truck him out there to lose to whoever they're trying to get over somewhat. There wasn't much in WrestleMania where he hosted that I enjoyed, but like that promo, got me excited. I was already excited because I want to see LA Knight succeed, but this got me even more up for this upcoming match.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We're going to talk. I leave you guys alone for one episode.
Here it comes.
In the 7 years of this show, I am not on one episode. And you say that Chad Gable is a better sports entertainer than Kurt Angle. I love Chad Gable. Unbelievable in the ring. But it took me 4 minutes to write down the top 17 things that came to mind that throw Chad Gable out the door. First of all, let's talk about some people here, shall we? We have Kane, Ric Flair, Rey Mysterio, Undertaker, Rock, Austin, Shawn Michaels, and he tapped out Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan tapped out to Kurt Angle. That never happens. Who has Chad Gable beaten? He can't even beat Gunther. He can't even pin him.
I stand by my take, Jimmy.
September 23rd, 2001. 12 days after September 11th. America needed a hero. Kurt Angle came in his home city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Unforgiven pay-per-view against Stone Cold Steve Austin, that turncoat. And within miles of the crash site of United 93, wins the championship. Crazed fans. Give us a little happiness, Rod. No, Chad Gable's better than that. That's fine. The "You Suck" chants, Edge. A lot of stories about, no, I'm going. I don't even care. Edge starts the "You Suck" chants at his Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The fans said "You suck." Why? Because he loves it. He loves the "You Suck." It's time. It's damn time. I got a broken freaking neck. No, shoosh is better than that. Of course it is. No question about that. It's got intensity, integrity, intelligence. Oh, the 3 eyes. Remember that? No, you don't, because you weren't watching. Why? Because you can't remember that far back. Because you weren't watching back then. But shoosh. No, that's good. That's good stuff. Oh, you remember a guy named John Cena? Let me see. Who gave him the rub to start off his career? Let me look at my notes. Kurt freaking Angle gave him the rub to start his career off, okay? Ruthless aggression, okay? We'll never forget that. I got a few more, and then I'm going to let you guys talk. Maybe. The milk truck gentleman brought it out twice, brought it out within the last couple years, sprayed the entire ring with milk. But no, Chad Gable's a better sports entertainer than that. King of the Ring almost killed my boy Shane McMahon twice because they ordered plexiglass instead of sugar glass to do a back. But no, he took care of that. But no, it's okay. He's better. Oh, and okay, finally, remember Brock Lesnar? Remember him? He's a pretty good wrestler. Remember when he did a backflip and basically killed himself? Who took him through the rest of that few minutes and let him win? Oh, yeah, Kurt Angle did that. But no, guys, Rod, no, your take is fantastic on Chad Gable. Chad Gable is a better sports entertainer than Kurt Angle. You're right. I'm wrong. It's the Yeah We Know podcast with Rod and Chris. Jimmy will just be the producer on this one.
Listen, Jimmy, of course, everything that you just said right there is stone cold solid fact and cannot be refuted, okay? But I still will tell you that I stand by my take, all right? I understand that if we're stacking resume on resume, Kurt Angle's is impeachable if you only have Chad Gable's on the other side. But what I would say is Chad Gable is only allowed to do what they book for him. If they let Chad Gable drive a milk truck down to the ring, do you think he'd be just as charismatic spraying people with milk? I kind of think that he does. If they needed somebody to come out and rally the jingoistic spirit of America and get a bunch of USA chants going, Chad Gable could probably do that too. They do not allow the man to get some of the shine they allowed Kurt Angle to get. Angle has storylines that are bedrock within the lore of WWE, no doubt, Jimmy. And your diatribe right there was fabulous, and the listeners love it when you get fired up like that. But I stand by my take. If Chad Gable was given some of the opportunities that they gave the milkman, he'd look just as cool.
I got your back, Rod, because I want to say this. Jimmy made me do Shorty G homework, and I'm going to tell you what.
Angle would have been a little better that because guess what? He did it.
All I remember is I saw Kurt Angle start his career, and then I saw the very end of it, and it seemed to be the same. I know that the Chad Gable I see now is 100 times different than the Shorty G you made me watch. That tells me that there's a lot more range with Chad Gable and what he can do.
Boom, Jimmy, boom. range. Ever hear of it? Actors learn about it when they go through their classes, okay? Chad Gable has some. Your retort.
I can't fix stupid. I'm sorry. Like, that is the most ridiculous take ever. I saw Kurt Angle wrestle one match, and then 20 years later, on his comeback run, the nostalgia run, he was the same thing. Well, of course he was. It's nostalgia run. What about the 20 years in between? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Let's move on before I.
That was good podcasting right there, Jimmy. Bravo to you, my friend. Bravo to you. I need to have more bad takes so that you come in with all of that research ready to prove to the people why you are the ultimate wrestling fan that they should be listening to.
Really not much else happened on Raw. We had a lot of rehashing, and Rod, you even texted me once. I can't even look at you right now. Rod even texted me like, what are we doing? This is the same stuff. I said, give him this week. We had to do one SmackDown, one Raw, get the Bray stuff taken care of.
Because we've never seen New Day fight the Viking Raiders, have we, Jimmy? That's never happened where the New Day's fought the Viking Raiders.
I do like the fact that the Viking Raiders won pretty handily there. I know McIntyre and because we need to get the Viking Raiders up a little bit, because what the hell are they right now? You just get them moving a little bit. I like that. The New Day, you can do whatever you want with them. They can't be touched there. Ciampa and Reed had their 300th match, but Ciampa won again. He's doing this Where's Johnny Gargano on Instagram. I really like that, because we need that team back together. You guys will love DIY when they reform. Hopefully it's soon.
I love Ciampa. I don't even need your boy Gargano. I love Ciampa. Ciampa is a breath of fresh air to me when he comes down to the ring. I love me some Ciampa. Nobody else does what Ciampa does, and I dig it.
Becky and Zoe had their match. Obviously, Becky had to win to set up the cage, which is fine.
Chris, they listened to you again. Yep. They went all over the ring for you.
Yeah, they did, and they did it a little bit better. Well, they did a lot better than they did the week before. I wanted to see them go further. When I heard it was at the beginning when it was going to be a Falls Anywhere count, I was really hoping we were going to get back in some more souvenir areas or get some food involved at the concession stands or something crazy.
It's a merch table. I told you last time, it's a merch table.
And that brings us to Payback, the premium live event coming up. As Rod said, not as much fanfare, but has the opportunity to have some good matches and some long matches, because right now we only have 7 matches on the card. So let's start with one of the matches that I'm looking most forward to, LA Knight against The Miz. LA Knight's got to win this match. He's got to win this match pretty decisively, I think, as well, which means The Miz is going to win. No, I have LA Knight winning this, and then we need to get him to a bigger feud coming up. Chris King, what do you think?
Yeah, we got to get him past this. He needs to beat The Miz. He needs to move on towards that U.S. title, one way, shape, or form. That's the title we need to get around his belt.
Okay, I like it, Rod.
I really, really want to go with The Miz here just to be contrarian, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with LA Knight. Yeah. Miz, nah.
You know, it's pretty cool when you get it was my birthday this past weekend, and when one of your friends on Facebook says happy birthday, I do appreciate that. Shout out to Cousin Bill, who's been on the podcast before, by the way, just randomly. Becky Lynch and
he got banned from the podcast too for a little while for talking smack about The Miz, actually, back in the day when Roz was a big time Miz supporter.
Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus in the cage. I want Becky Lynch winning this, and I want her going after Rhea at the next pay-per-view, mostly because it's Fastlane and it's in October. It's not going to happen, but that's okay. But I do have Becky Lynch winning this one. Chris, who do you have?
Yeah, it's got to be Becky Lynch, right? Otherwise, how else does this end? They just keep dragging this on. If Trish wins, it just drags on.
Rod, you think this is going to drag on, don't you?
I do. I got Trish Stratus here.
Yeah, Chris, you got to remember this is WWE and Vince is still alive, so things can drag on forever. They do possibly have a War Games match coming up that something could happen with Trish and Becky in that as well. We'll see what happens, though. I don't know if they'll do a women's War Games.
I thought they were doing Survivor Series this year, though, Jim. I thought they were actually doing Survivor Series this year.
I think, isn't it War Games at Survivor Series?
Is that what they're doing? I thought I only saw the Survivor Series tag.
Well, it could be.
Isn't it Chicago?
Who knows? I think so. KO and Sammy versus the Judgment Day. Haven't seen this in a while, Rod.
Out of nowhere.
You're so excited.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
World Tag Team Championships.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Jim, explain this to me, all right? Because clearly we're basically trying to further the Priest Balor storyline here. What exactly do the tag team champions do to further the Priest Balor storyline here? I'm absolutely at a loss here, Jimmy. I'd love a little expertise from you here before we even make our picks.
Well, if you think about it, Finn Balor thinks that Damian Priest has cost him some opportunities to win the world championship, right? So something is going to happen where maybe Finn Balor has the briefcase and either throws it too soon or doesn't throw it at all to Damian Priest or something like that, where it cost Damian Priest to get a pin on him. You know, I didn't mean to do it, but it furthers that storyline. That's the only way I can see this one going. So I got KO and Sammy winning this. They can't lose it here, right, Chris?
I'm going to go with Judgment Day on this one.
Whoa. Wow.
I think they're going to get – listen.
Wait, champions?
Sammy
New champions?
Yes, I think the belts change hands. I thought I was with you with KO and Sammy until they announced it was going to be a Pittsburgh street fight. I think that benefits the Judgment Day. Maybe there's a flub with the case, but I think it works out better having them be tag team champions and hating each other at the same time.
There is many storylines in the history of WWE, right, Jimmy, where this happens, where tag team champions don't necessarily like each other and are tag team champions together. And also, we failed to mention that the unquestioned leader of the Judgment Day now, Rhea Ripley, basically threatened the two of them with being kicked out if they don't show up. So
I love that. No one can say who's the leader except it's Rhea Ripley. She's the leader. Great point there, Rod. I just don't know if you go from main eventing WrestleMania in one of the biggest feuds ever just to losing it at a random pay-per-view. That's the only thing that scares me about that title change, Chris, but I like the fact that you picked it something different. Speaking about random title changes, Rey Mysterio is your U.S. champion. He's going against Austin Theory. I'm not going to pick it. It's not going to be on me. I don't care. I'm not picking Austin Theory to win his title back. If he does, I'm not for it. Rey Mysterio has to retain here, right, guys? Rod.
I've got Austin Theory.
Damn you to hell.
I don't want to, but it makes no sense.
Today.
Second worst, listen to you. It doesn't make any sense, but here's the thing, Jimmy. I was with you when you said, let's have Austin Theory go away for a little while. Let's maybe even have Austin Theory pop down and get a little bit of the Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin kind of bump where it's like, hey, look at me. I'm big fish down here swimming in the NXT pond. That gives me a little bit of shine. But just immediately putting him back into a match with Rey Mysterio, immediately getting him into another match at a pay-per-view for the belt that he's already had. I don't see how in the world they salvage Austin Theory, which they clearly want to, since they didn't just have him go away, other than have him winning his title right back.
Chris, what do you think, bud?
I got Rey Mysterio, but I don't understand this whole scenario that they've cooked up. And this leads me to another question that I had last week, and I wanted to bring it up to you. Has the writer's strike affected the writers for the WWE? Is that why we're seeing some, for lack of a better term, crappy type reasons or story issues that we've seen?
Welcome to WWE, brother. No, it has nothing to do with that. They're not affected by that at all. It's not SAG-AFTRA, so no. WWE is its own entity there, buddy. It's I know it's weird. It's like, but it's a television show. Just nod and smile on this one because that's what it is. That, you know, when they say it's because I said so.
Are they independent?
It's because I said so. I don't know. I don't believe they're independent.
I was going to say that's how they get around it with the wrestlers in so many ways. I wondered if it was the same with the writers.
You know, I think that they just need to have Theory get a rematch here for his championship. He did lose it. So have him get the rematch and have him lose and then maybe go back down to NXT. But I could also see him winning an LA Knight going after Theory instead. Who knows? Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez in Rhea Ripley's first, first big kind of match. But still it's got a bad taste in my mouth because it's been really built up poorly. Raquel's hurt all the time. She comes out. She still kind of gets beat down. Rhea Ripley should not lose this title till at least WrestleMania, if not. You know, I mean, I love Rhea Ripley. She needs to be the dominant champion. She needs to win this, and she will win this, Rod.
I'm actually going the other way. Give me Raquel. I was thinking we got to have a belt change hands. I can't see any of the other belts changing hands. I think that we can further some of the Judgment Day storyline and the dismay there in the ranks with Rhea losing her belt. She already dropped that little line about how all of this confusion is making women come up and come at me, and it shouldn't be that way. So I kind of see Rhea losing the belt here because I think they desperately want to put some shine on somebody else on Monday night. And what better way to do it than have them take down the Eradicator? So give me Raquel Rodriguez.
What if Finn Balor causes Rhea to lose by throwing the Money in the Bank in or something like that, and Rhea kicks the living hell out of him? Maybe that's the next feud for Rhea's Finn Balor. Chris King, what do you think?
I think Rhea wins this. I don't see this being a long match. Or at least it shouldn't be.
Dude, if they absolutely excuse me, Chris, but if they wipe the floor with Raquel the way Chris is talking here, then they better just get Raquel gone and never bring her back. Because if Raquel Rodriguez can at least sort of stand up to her, then what friggin' point does she ever have moving forward? She's just as big as Rhea Ripley.
I'm still at a point where I only see the real competition to Rhea Ripley being Bianca, Charlotte, those two. Those are the two I see actually being able to challenge Rhea Ripley. Even more so than
you tried
Becky Lynch.
retiring Charlotte a couple of weeks ago. What do you mean? You tried retiring Charlotte a couple of weeks ago. What are you talking about? We need some new blood.
Listen. Charlotte is going to get another chance to win a title from somebody, and she's going to get a title at some point from somebody. Why not try to get it from Rhea? I could see that feud a whole lot easier than I can this one, and maybe it's because Raquel's been injured and they haven't been able to build it up. But it just seems like it's just been hodged together because they don't have anybody for Rhea to really have issues with on Raw.
Hodged together? How old man of a phrase is that? I'm usually pretty good with the old man phrases. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, so it's old.
So old that the dictionary doesn't even have it anymore, but that's okay. Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for your world championship. I'm excited about this match.
Don't you do it, Jimmy. Don't you do it. Don't you dare.
What? Wait, do you not want me to pick Rollins because I'm bad at everything?
No, I don't.
No, Rollins is going to win. Rollins shouldn't. No, Shinsuke is not winning this. It's a nice thought, but I'll whisper to your ear too. Shinsuke is losing. Because this would not be the time to have Rollins lose.
Okay, Jimmy, Chris asked you a question. I'm asking you a question. How much validity am I to believe of this Seth back injury? Because quite frankly, it makes a little bit of sense. Excuse me, Seth, listen to me there. It makes a little bit of sense. The guy does wrestle all the time. He has been getting beat around. I mean, is Shinsuke is there a kernel of truth here? Should I be worried about my guy's long-term health?
Well, you should always be worried about any wrestler's long-term health, especially someone who's been wrestling as long as he has. I mean, I don't think that it's anything major. I don't know.
All right, because I'm just worried. Like I said last week, I hope he doesn't need a Beckyotomy like our guy Samson from Half Baked.
Yeah, I mean, he says, he said he has the 2 fractures. He's been living it with 4 years. I don't know. Maybe it's true, but news to me. Chris King, who you got?
I'm on Seth Rollins, and I'm doing this just so Rod can see the dude that he loves wear the belt in Indianapolis. I want to see Rollins, and I want to see Rod have that happen for him.
It'd be like Rod watching Van get a first place ribbon in his robotics contest or something, just sitting back with that dad smile on his face. That's my boy down there. That's my boy.
That's right.
Yeah, it'll be nice. Yes. So that of course means Shinsuke Nakamura is winning. But
are you not going to get my pick? I mean, I think everybody knows who I'm picking, but I'm just going to let me go ahead and make it official here. No, I didn't pick Seth. Listen, I will be cheering and singing my guy's song, looking resplendent with my hair flowing in the indoor breeze of the stadium, and I will be wearing my Terry Funk I'm a Funker t-shirt. Let's go. Fastlane, Indianapolis, October 7th. Let's get through Payback and get to Fastlane.
Goodbye, net. Yeah.